Hello, I, Naira Thomas, will be presenting a found research on how humans are seen as cooperative species, challenges and opportunities for teaching the evolution of human prosociality. My group members include Mary Shank and Doug Watson. Introduction. Humans are described as a highly cooperative species, which means working together to meet common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations. Cooperation is considered a major prerequisite for achieving development by certain conditions. It is often have a strong commitment on a group and focus on strengthening social skills when working together as a group. Understanding how humans cooperate and behave is considered a foundation in education for sustainable development, such as learning how to cooperate with one another. It is known that both humans and chimpanzees have evolved to have cooperative skills, yet previously before the study, it was unknown if a majority of students and teachers actually knew this about humans and understood this well enough to know how to efficiently incorporate it into education. The goal of this study was to evaluate the level of understanding that students and teachers have had that humans as a species have evolved to have skills surrounding cooperation and collaboration. The big picture. Key for human beings to understand how we cooperate. Understanding the behavior and conditions that allows us humans to cooperate around shared goals is possibly considered as education, especially for us to understand how we humans have evolved. Self-worth and personal power. Cooperativeness has been linked to greater things in emotion maturity and strong personal identity, which links to bonding and support. Bonding promotes the development of connections between brain cells critical for learning, and all it links to achieving common social, ecological, and economic goals.
The experimental setup was designed to represent conditions of common pool resource dilemmas, including a limited renewable resource and shared access to the resource. Such dilemmas have been referred to as the tragedy of the commons. A common pool resource is a resource that benefits a group of people but provides diminished benefits to everyone if each individual pursues his or her own self interest. The value of a common pool resource can be reduced through overuse because the supply of the resource is not unlimited, and using more than can be replenished can result in scarcity. Examples include forests, grasslands, fisheries, etc. In these studies, chimpanzees tended to be less successful in using the resource for as long as possible, and they also tended to share resources less equally due to dominance or submission behaviors in comparison to children. A total of 180 students, grades 6 through 10, as well as biology teachers across four German schools, were chosen at random to participate. The participants were shown the supposed task that could be performed by children and chimpanzees. The participants were given an assignment sheet and given 5 to 10 minutes to answer questions such as which of the two species do you think was more successful in using the resource sustainably? Why do you think this species was more successful? Or why do you think the species was less successful? Collected assignment sheets were transcribed and analyzed by the two authors using a theory based thematic analysis, which is when the scientists closely examine the data to identify common themes, topics, ideas, and patterns of meaning that come up repeatedly. For the chimpanzees, many explanations described essential qualities or mentioned evolutionary causes or survival needs in nature. It was often unclear whether participants referred to the experience or characteristics of the specific individuals participating in the experiments. These general and debatable explanations were put into an overall cooperative by nature category. Other explanations were grouped around the notion that chimpanzees will understand the problem better or the fact that they already know each other. In regard to the human children, explanations reference some essential qualities of humans and or children's developmental factors such as age, education and experience, their ability to understand, and their ability to communicate. For each species, a category of other explanations included a range of factors, such as the maturity of chimpanzees, the role of hierarchy, shyness of the children, or factors of the proximate situation of the experiment.
The results of the experiment were that 77% of the participants believed that chimpanzees would perform better than the children. These participants gave reasons such as due to nature, meaning that it's in their genetics and their instincts encourage teamwork and collaboration. Understanding, meaning that they understand the task at hand. Knowing the partner, meaning that they know who they're working with better than the children would. And then there was a category for other. So of that 77% that believed chimpanzees would be more successful, 76% said that it would be due to nature. The other 23% of the participants said that the children would be more successful. These participants gave reasons such as nature, understanding or smartness, education or experience, ability to communicate, and then other. 55% of these 23% said that it would be due to understanding or smartness rather than nature, with only 5% saying that it was nature. So that's a total of 2 participants. So the fact that a majority of people believe chimpanzees will be more successful because it's in their nature shows that most people don't know that it's in our nature as humans as well. This shows that our education system is failing at teaching this aspect of our humanity, and that students need further assistance within schools to be able to understand that their skills of cooperation go back much further than just a young age, all the way to their evolutionary roots, and that these skills can be further sharpened with the right knowledge and guidance. So ways this can be improved, include topics and ideas provided by the NGSS. So this is the Next Generation Science Standards. So this includes things like linking the topics of natural selection and evolution with the core idea of social interactions and group behavior. And this can be done through doing a unit within schools on human evolution, while emphasizing the role of cooperation and prosociality in the evolution of our species' behavior and cognition. Another way this can be done in schools is by linking the themes of cooperation and group behavior to the NGSS theme of human sustainability and to themes in social studies. These are just a couple reasons that were given within the paper themselves, or itself, but there are of course many other ways that this can be incorporated within the schools. And as we mentioned before, teaching these topics in schools really is essential for the well-being of our communities and societies and our future as humans as a whole. Without these skills being learned, people don't generally know that it is in fact possible for us to work together, and it's the only way we'll really be able to solve global issues such as overpopulation, famine, and global warming.
Some further studies would be a search into the deeper evolutionary histories and functions of the behavioral disposition of living things. Because when predicting or explaining the differences or similarities between human and animal behavior, deeper evolutionary causes are required. Also, looking into which ways are the most effective at teaching these skills and the histories behind them in schools, and if these skills need to be taught different ways depending on the age of the students.
This concludes our presentation on humans as a cooperative species, looking at the challenges and opportunities for teaching the evolution of human prosociality. Thank y'all for joining.